Hello there dear YouTubers, my name is King1993 and today I will again introduce to you another Honkai Impact character and which type of weapon is based on her, okay? So before starting this video I would like to say please like and subscribe and click the bell notification icons to get more of this type of video on a regular basis. And if you want me to cover something else, then do let me know in the comments, because without you guys mentioning something, I myself might not be able to know what to do. Okay, so anyway, let's start with this uh, explanation, okay, or walkthrough. First of all, today's character will be Yae Sakura. Okay, so Yae Sakura is a similarly to Raiden Mei, who is also a blade type user. So there are two blade type users. One is Raiden Mei, another one is Yae Sakura. So Yae Sakura has four type of character versions in Honkai Impact. Okay, and based on their types, there are three biological and one mechanical type. Okay, but despite all that, all four of them has different damage output. This one has lightning damage output, this one is a physical damage dealer, this one is a fire damage dealer, and this one is an ice damage dealer. Okay, lightning on electric, I will say lightning or electric interchangeably, maybe uh, it is by habit. So do try to understand when I say electric or lightning damage, I meant same thing. Okay, so anyway, as you have seen, there are four types: lightning, physical, fire and ice type. So I will try to provide the best description based on that. Okay, first of all, if we go to the weapon and select the blade, obviously, and then there is this 2-star weapon. Do not upgrade this 2-star weapon, because there is actually 3-star weapon categories here. So unlike these two, which I do not recommend because they do not have weapon skill, these three, 1, 2 and 3, they have weapon skill. So if you are at the beginner player, that is, then definitely go for this or one of these three weapons. Why is that? Because one of them has bleed effect, it will continuously damage your enemy. This one will cause fire to your enemy, and this one will cause 250% lightning, sorry, physical damage. So whatever this output is, it will make your sword 2.5 times stronger than it already is. Okay, so based on that, I'm gonna say these three weapons are the best for you guys. Okay, especially this one for the physical, this one is not so stronger than this, and this one should be good for the fire Sakura. Okay, so once you go to the 4-star level, then you will be congratulated by me, even though most of you do not know what does that mean. It means you are now an intermediate player, because intermediate player cannot I mean a beginner player cannot get this weapon very easily. Okay, because there is a lot of grinding to do, but grinding for 4-star weapon in the intermediate is common. Okay, so based on that, there are many types here. So you might be wondering that which one is actually good for which type of Yae Sakura. So I'm just gonna say their types name. Okay, for example, this lightning type is based on lightning Sakura. This one will be based on the physical damage Sakura. This one will be based on ice damage dealer Sakura. Okay, so this weapon will be based on the ice damage dealer Sakura. This one again physical damage Sakura, but this one is very special. Okay, I forget to mention in the my section, Raiden Mei, that is. But this weapon, if you want to activate your Yae Sakura's what should I call it, ultimate a lot quicker than any other, then use this weapon, because this weapon lowers the cost of using ultimate, eventually will save more SP. Okay, reduce skill activation, SP cost by 20, does not affect minimum SP required for skill activation. Okay, so and there is another one. Okay, so based on this, which one is this? This one should be good on the physical damage Sakura. Okay, and this one is also a physical damage for the physical damage Yae Sakura. This one should be good on the ice damage dealer Sakura. So if you want to know which one is better, this one or that one, obviously this one, because you have to calculate the damage amount. So based on that, I'm gonna say that this one is actually better than this one. Okay, now there is thermal cutter. Thermal cutter is for the fire damage Sakura. So in case if you have either this or the if you have any other type, do consider try to get this one for the fire Sakura, because it has a blast which does physical damage, but also it does 600 fire damage for every 0.5 second for 4 seconds. So 8 times the fire damage. So if you multiply 8 with 600, then 8080 4500, so 4000. Is that a lot? 4500, sorry, 8 5 4800 damage. So this by far is the most good weapon for the fire Yae Sakura, because this one can actually does 4000. Remember, this one can actually does 4000 damage by its ultimate. 4000 9000 damage. So it will deal about 9000 amount of damage based on this based on this weapon skill. So if you were to ask me which weapon, which of the 4-star weapon is based on fire Sakura, then go for thermal cutter. Okay, and attack nearby enemies, start slash. Okay, so this is another of Yae Sakura's weapon, which will does fire, sorry, which will does physical damage. But how good this is, I cannot know about the calculation, because here it is 350, let's say 350% damage. So 3.5, if I were to multiply 3.5 with this, so it will be about 500 or something. So if the damage is about 500 or something, so I'm not gonna mention this to you. Rather, I would suggest that you were to use this instead of that, because it will do far more damage, because once the defense get lower, it does more damage. Okay, now this is Thunderstorm, and Thunderstorm here can actually does 750 lightning damage to the enemies. Okay, paralyze them for 2 seconds. So if you are using lightning Sakura, that is, then do give this to her. I think this weapon was meant to be used by Raiden Mei, because there was no electric Yae Sakura or lightning Yae Sakura when this weapon was available. So based on that, I'm gonna say this weapon was meant for Raiden Mei. But if you do get Yae Sakura, or let's say lightning Yae Sakura, that is, then do use this weapon on her. And then there is this one. If you were to say that which of the ice damage dealing is the most powerful ice damage dealer in the entire game of the 4-star category, then this is probably the one, because the damage here is extremely way too high, and the enemy also loses their movement speed about 60% for 5 seconds. So based on that, I'm gonna say this is an extremely powerful weapon. and this one is actually a fire damage dealer weapon. So if you equip it on Yae Sakura, then good. But as I have probably mentioned here, which one of these weapons that their fire damage is extremely high, to go for that one instead of this. Which one was it? Okay, this thermal cutter. This thermal cutter is actually better than this one. So do try to get the thermal cutter. Now there is again this one, Phoenix Razor. Okay, it's when Kiana is in the team. Okay, this weapon is for Raiden Mei. So if you have Kiana in the team and Yae Sakura, then only then this weapon can become powerful. Otherwise, this weapon is useless without Kiana. So do not get this weapon. This weapon is more of a stupid weapon than I thought. This weapon is easily grindable and it is a physical damage dealer. The damage ceiling isn't that high, but it should able to get you through the intermediate stage. So based on that, I'm gonna say that if you get any of these weapon, do try to understand that there is a huge difference here. This lightning soul and between this thunderstorm, obviously this lightning soul is better because as your character progresses to the stage, your character will also deal 15% more lightning damage dealing. So if you have a support character who is capable of giving you 32 or 35 elemental damage, then this will come in handy. So this is best for lightning damage dealing, and this one, sorry, not this one, I think this one is based for the ice damage dealer Sakura, and this one is based on fire damage dealing Sakura. So lightning damage dealing Sakura, ice damage dealing Sakura, and fire damage dealing Sakura. All of the other are okay, but they are not the best. Okay, so if you are at this 4-star, but eventually if you got any of the 5-star or 6-star weapon, then do not upgrade these 4-star because they are mostly useless, because they only have okay, this one is exception. Most of them only have one weapon skill, and this one weapon skill is actually not good. Why is it not good? uh, I will mention to you in level 5. Okay, so in level 5 there are again a lot of weapon, because there are two characters, one is Yae Sakura, another one is uh, Raiden Mei, which is why there are many 5-star weapon for the blade. Okay, so again if you go to this 5-star, you might be thinking again that which weapon is actually best. Okay, so based on that, I'm gonna try to break this down as good as possible. First of all, do try to understand that there is two weapon, key of castigation, and there is this max storm. Okay, so both of these two weapon, max storm and key of castigation, is capable of doing extremely high amount of lightning damage. Okay, so if you were planning on getting any of the lightning damage dealing weapon for Yae Sakura, then either go for key of castigation or max storm. But if you do have key of castigation, you do not need to worry about max storm, and if you do get max storm, even if you try to get key of castigation, then it is better. So based on that, I'm gonna say try to go for either max storm or key of castigation for lightning Yae Sakura. Okay, this is one. Now point number 2 is which weapon is best for physical damage dealer Sakura. Now based on that, there are a lot of them, but the main problem is that there is no proper definition of which one is actually good. For example, let me give you a proper example. This Sakura Blossom was especially made for Yae Sakura. and I use this one on physical damage dealing Yae Sakura a lot at the beginning. So if you do plan on getting this one, because this is her signature weapon, then by default it's gonna do a whole lot of damage than you can think. For example, this is the normal active skill and this is the passive skill. In the passive skill it has let's say 2 times more damage dealing when Sakura does a charge damage on the enemy. Okay, another dealing 200% damage, so basically speaking 3 times the damage plus another 1920 physical damage. So truth to be told, it does a huge lot of damage. Okay, now Gashin Miko is another one. I forgot which one it is. I think the fire one. So if this one were to be used on the fire Sakura, that is, then it will does another few of the things which I do not know how to properly say it to you guys, because when I see a weapon I just use them, I don't even read the description, and I'll explain the other part later. So if you try to get the best quality weapon for Yae Sakura, do try to see what type of weapon it is at first and then try to go for it. For example, this looks another physical damage dealer, but this is actually an fire damage dealer. Even though both of them has the same color, they are actually different. Now Florid Sakura, okay, so what basically I'm trying to say is, if you plan on getting Yae Sakura the physical damage dealer, give her this Sakura Blossom. Okay, that will be the end of topic for that matter. And now let's talk about the fire Sakura. Okay, now there is the fire Sakura, or Gashin Miko, I think. Anyway, for the fire Sakura, this one is the weapon you should be getting. Why is that? Because this weapon can actually turn into a pre-arm. Not only that, it has a huge quantity of fire damage dealing. For example, weapon skill has 500% of fire damage dealing, and the final slash deals another 200% fire damage. So if you were to equip this on fire Sakura, then definitely fire Sakura will be extremely happy. I do not know why I said that. And for the ice damage dealer Sakura, that is, there are many weapons here, but to try to understand that I am recommending you the specific ones, because others one will be actually at the end of the game will become useless. Why is that? I'll tell you. Now there is this ice epithelium. This ice epithelium is a ice damage dealing weapon. So this weapon is especially a signature weapon for ice Sakura. Okay, ice Yae Sakura. So if you do try to get this for her, then this will does a huge quantity of damage. Now, as I probably said that there are many types here, but I only showed you the most useful one. Now what do I mean by that? What I mean is, if you go to the 6-star level, then you will see there are 4 uh, blade weapons. Out of these 4 blade weapons, 2 of these are actually lightning damage dealing one. These 2 are lightning damage dealing one, and these 2 is actually, this one is a ice damage dealer, which is extremely good on Yae Sakura, who is the ice version, and this one is for Yae Sakura, who is a fire damage dealing one character. Okay, so as you see here, that the more the star level increases, the more the fire damage also increases. Not only that, if you read the description, you will see that this one does huge quantity of ice damage. So I mean fire damage, sorry about that, I meant fire damage. Now so let me give you another brief example. If you get this 2-star weapon, don't upgrade it. If you get this 3-star weapon, then upgrade any of these 3. Okay, now once you get to the 4-star weapon category, then give this one to lightning damage dealer Sakura, give this one to fire damage dealer Sakura, and give this one to ice damage dealer Sakura. Okay, and if you get any of the other physical damage type, for example any of the weapon here, for example this one, then do give any of the physical damage dealing weapons to the Yae Sakura character. Okay, now once you go to the 5-star, there are a lot of options, but it will eventually come down to few categories, such as which weapon will be changed into a 6-star weapon. For example, this Max Storm, Key of Castigation, these two are for lightning Sakura. This Sakura Blossom is for physical damage dealer Sakura. This Ice Epithelium is for ice damage dealing Sakura. And this Flourish Sakura, Demon Blade Flourish Sakura, this weapon is for fire damage dealing Sakura. Okay, now once you go to the 6-star, you will see that there is this one weapon which is for ice damage dealer Sakura. Reunious Sakura is for the fire damage dealing Sakura, and these two is for the lightning damage dealing Sakura. So there is no physical damage dealing weapon for the physical damage dealing Sakura. Okay, so this is from the weapon section. Now let me go to these characters and let me show you again. As I have already told you, these are the 4 characters. Now if you go to this if you go and buy weapons based on their recommendation, then trust me, it will not sometime be good. For example, in this case it is updated, so it was at first not this one, it was at first Max Storm. Max Storm was the main weapon suggested to us users by the recommendation, but it got updated to Key of Castigation once Raiden Mei became the harsher of the thunder, that is. So afterwards this weapon became Yae Sakura's main lightning damage dealing weapon. So based on that, if you do get her this weapon, it is extremely good on her. Okay, now this one, the best weapon for her is actually the Sakura Blossom, because this one was especially made for Yae Sakura. So if you get this one for Yae Sakura, physical damage dealing one, then this one will be extremely useful on her. This Yae Sakura is actually an extremely old version Yae Sakura. So based on that, I'm gonna say that this Sakura here is the oldest one, and her weapon is also a very old one, but even after that her weapon is actually more useful to her than any other characters. Okay, now there is Flame Sakitama, and Flame Sakitama, I did try to get this uniform, but I couldn't anywhere. For yes, for Flame Sakitama, okay, the best weapon for her is this one, Demon Blade Florid Sakura. So it is the same as the one I recommended you, because it will eventually turn into a 6-star weapon. So if you do get this weapon for her, then congratulations, because this weapon will eventually be turned into a 6-star weapon, and it will deal a whole lot of damage. And last but not least, Goshin so Memento, just say Memento. Okay, this Memento Sakura, for Memento Sakura, Ice Epithelium is the most useful one, because this one is specifically made for her, and based on that, this one actually does a huge lot of damage if you equip this one on Ice Sakura, that is. So this is the version based on the characters. Okay, now let's go to the weapon section, of which weapon is easily very easily grindable. So if we go to this weapon section, and this forge option, which was not available at first but is now available. If we were to select this, then we'll see that there are weapons based on it. Okay, so let's try to select weapons based on Valkyrie type. So the best weapon based on the Valkyrie type should be in these manners. First of all, let's try to look for Yae Sakura. Okay, go Shin Miko. Now there are a lot of weapon for Gashin Miko, but as you can probably see here, Gashin Miko is actually an old character, and because Gashin Miko is an old character, I do suggest that you get this weapon for her. Truth to be told, I myself actually didn't check this version. So if you do see that for Gashin Miku, whichever number is highest, it should be the one you should be trying to get. Okay, now if my previous part of the video contradicts with this one, then stay with this one. Okay, why is that? Because if the number here shows that this number is actually higher than any other number, then get this weapon, because any weapon which has the highest number here is a recommended weapon for the Gashin Miko. So if I had not seen this, then I wouldn't have recommended you this, but since I have seen this, okay, and it is also the reason I am saying that if you get any of these two weapons, upgrade it and use it on Gashin Miko, because Gashin Miko will get the most benefit out of these two weapons. Okay, because a 6-star physical damage dealing weapon has not been released yet. If they were to release a physical damage dealing weapon, especially the sword version, then both Gashin Miko and Shadow Dash or Valkyrie Blade Strike are gonna get a huge benefit from it as well, because a physical damage dealing sword is not available in the pre-armed section. They should make at least one of it. Okay, so anyway, this is for Gashin Miko to try to get these two weapon. Now for Flame Sakitama, oh, I forgot another few things. Now in case if you are wondering that if you do not have any crystals with you, then what are you gonna do? For that case, I do suggest that there are some beginners option. For example, do read the description here. This is a 4-star weapon and these three are 5-star weapon. Now do see which type of weapon damage dealing this is. For example, this is a physical damage dealer. This one is also a physical damage dealing weapon, and this one is actually ice damage dealing weapon. So if you do try to get any of these three weapon, do get it, because it costs only about 150 anti-entropy core. So you are gonna get a 5-star weapon by grinding anti-entropy core and without the use of any crystals. Okay, but this is for the intermediate and big advanced level, and if you are a true advanced level player, then do get this one, because it will come handy not for Gashin Miko but for other characters as well. Okay, and if you do have this anti-entropy core, use it, and do not try to get these ones, because these ones are not that much useful. Okay, these 4-star weapon are not useful in the long run, so don't try to use them or upgrade them. Okay, now Flame Sakidama. For Flame Sakitama, the best weapon for her is, as I have mentioned, is Ryono Sakura. So Ryono Sakura is the best weapon for her. It was at first this Demon Blade Sakura, and then eventually it will turn into Ryono Sakura. So both Demon Blade and Ryono Sakura is easy to get, because this one is grindable. Now this is the question, how to get this. If you do try to get it, you must need to get it within these things. Okay, so if you try to get this stuff, then do try to understand that these are not easy to get, because some are actually available in the weapons, I mean in the bounty section, but others are actually available in the event section. So once the events go away, you might not be able to get this ether fuel anymore. Maybe some other alternatives will be available. So as long as this is available, this ether fuel, do try to get demon blade Sakura for flame Sakitama. Other than that, if you do have and to pick out, can get try to get this any of these three. Okay, so this is the recommendation for flame Sakitama. Now let's go for dark bolt zoning or the lightning damage dealing Sakura. For the lightning damage dealing Sakura, as you can probably see, this weapon is based on her. Okay, why? Even though it doesn't does any type of lightning damage dealing, it still does some explosive damage. Maybe that is the reason why the developer decided to give this weapon a higher number than any other, because this one actually does huge lot of damage even for a 5-star weapon. So get this foot sunoshito for her. Okay, now in case if you are wondering, out of these other types, which pre-arm is the best for her, as I have told you that this one is best for her. But if you do not have this one, because this one actually costs crystals to get, but this one is highly easily grindable, so do try to get this one for her or this one. Either of these is extremely good for her, because these are electric damage dealing or lightning damage dealing weapon, and dark bolt zoning is also a lightning damage dealer. Okay, now last but not least is Memento Sakura. Okay, now for Memento Sakura, again as you can see in the 5-star category, this weapon is the best for her. Futsunoshito is the best one for her. And once you try to get into an upgraded version, then do try to get this frozen Naraka, which will be ice epithelium at first. Okay, it will be called ice epithelium at first, and once you upgrade it, it will be called frozen Naraka. So do try to get this frozen Naraka for her, because it will does a huge quantity of damage on enemies who are weak against ice damage dealer. So based on that, I'm gonna say that if you do try to play for Yae Sakura, then each of them have their own signature weapons. Do try to give them their own signature weapons, or whichever it is available in the recommended section. Then this Sakura can actually gain a huge lot of damage dealing out of that. Okay, so all I'm gonna say is uh, do not try to be one of those people who just try to get any weapon for any characters, because trust me, that method doesn't work.